Welcome back to the show, everyone. This is The Bridge Views, and I am Ashley Cougar. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing none other than the Hannah Sterling. If you are into content creation, influencers, anything media, I guarantee you've seen her. She is from the city of Atlanta, kind of, and we have the pleasure of interviewing her today. Hi, Hannah. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited. Honestly, I was terrified that you were not coming back.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. We had confirmed.
I was freaking out, and we were going through our interviews, and I was like, hey guys, are we good for Hannah? Because I reached out to them to make sure we had everything before I reached out to you. And they're like, yeah, we're good. So then I was like, all right, let me text her and see. Let me send her an email so she knows it's legit. Are you coming back professionally?
Yes, I'm coming back to America. I did book a one-way ticket, but I booked one back.
So here, for those that might not know, because this is just so, I feel like influencer-esque, can you explain what happened? Where were you?
So I moved abroad and I moved to Colombia for a month. And I definitely booked a one-way ticket. I didn't know if I was coming back, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I was. I just needed a moment to be away. Mm-hmm. I think it was major burnout and I had to go. I was stressed when I left, but when I got there, my stress went away, literally. So, yeah.
Do you feel like it was government, work, life, everything? I know you've had some personal stuff going on. And then, the world's just every day there's something
on fire. I think it was definitely work and me wanting to find myself within my work, because I feel like I was always going on all those influencer events and just going. But I wanted to figure out, okay, you're saying yes to everything, but figure out what things you want to say no to. And I think I needed to step away to figure that out. But yes, the world is on fire. So it was also partly the government as well.
I need a break.
Yes.
I feel like you just dropped so many nuggets without even noticing. So I want to go back. I have questions.
Okay.
All right. So you said you were burnt out from all the travel. So what do you do exactly for those that might not know you?
I'm a full-time content creator and agency owner. So a lot of the travel was for work that I was contracted with through Refluence. And then the other work was influencer events in New York, Miami, LA, and Atlanta as well. And then the travel sprinkled in between.
I love how you're so nonchalant. I was just going everywhere for all these brand deals. And then I was just so tired. I just took a break in Colombia.
To me, it's normal. Yeah.
I love it.
I guess I'm eldest daughter. That's eldest daughter core. You don't brag, you just talk and then move on, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I love it. So you have an agency, and I feel like this is popping up a lot with a lot of influencers starting their own agencies.
Yeah.
How long have you?
Yeah.
How long have you had your agency?
I think Refluence is about to be 2 years old. I need to look at the calendar. I might need to celebrate and get a cake.
Yes.
But I believe Refluence is 2 years old. I've been doing content creation and whatnot for 5. And then starting small businesses for 10 years. But I think Refluence, the agency, is 2 years old.
Okay.
I need to look at the calendar.
What is your background? What made you want to say, okay, I'm doing content creation and I want to own an agency?
Oh my gosh. I've perfected my story so many times. Okay. So let's start at the beginning, right? I was the kid that used my allowance money to buy cameras from Walmart. So those 3 megapixel cameras? Mm-hmm. I was using my allowance money to buy those. Okay. My parents saw that not only was I an entrepreneur, I was the one selling t-shirts, trying to start dog walking businesses, all of that stuff. So they gave me a camera and I'm like, okay, with this new tool, how can I make money? So I started my own photography business. However, a lot of college students can't pay for photo shoots, right? Because I was taking pictures for EP covers, weddings, all of those things. So they didn't have the money to be able to pay for my skills. So I was like, how can I make money if I take photos of myself? And that's where content creation came in. Okay. And me just taking photos of myself, figuring out, okay, I built this platform. How can I make money? What can I incorporate in the photos to then somehow work with brands? And that's how products, you can put products in the photos, in the videos, and you can still make money. So yeah, long story short, It's been ingrained in me.
It's in
forever.
you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Are your parents, were they super supportive of you doing content creation? Or was it like, because if you've been doing this for 5 years, that's basically COVID. And I feel like people weren't really like selfie sticks walking around. I'm a content creator. I'm an influencer. So was it like, what are you doing?
No.
And why are you taking pictures of yourself all the time?
I don't think so. I was more so taking pictures of others.
Okay.
And I think it was natural. They just knew I love photos so much. If I don't have a subject, I'm just going to practice on myself and see what angles. I'm not even sure if I had a tripod. So it really was just me and my hand taking photos of other people, and then I might have set it up. But they were always supportive. I mean, it's evident with them like letting me start all these different businesses and promoting them to the other parents that I had something new, like bracelets or t-shirts or something like that.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah, I'm glad they encouraged it because that's why I am who I am today.
I love it. Within your agency, is it hard? So you represent yourself when you're doing brand deals, or do you have an agent separate?
No, I represent myself.
Okay.
So, I represent myself.
So you're representing yourself, which I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
And you have your agency. So when you're going back and forth with brands on behalf of either yourself or other creators, what is it that you're looking for?
For the people that I represent or try to find deals, at first I was doing it more so for like the masses. Mm-hmm. So I had a broadcast channel of almost 700 people looking to me for their next brand deal opportunity. So I was looking for ones that were open to creators of all sizes. But then for the creators that I specifically represent with influence, they tend to be like 10,000 and up when it comes to followers. They have to have like a track record of already working with brands. And I just need a brand that's ready to pay. A lot of brands.
That was going to be my next question, like the pay. I feel like not just pay disparities, but I feel like because brands are saving so much on marketing, they're just getting so cheap and offering nothing.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, I can do 20 posts for $100 a month.
Yeah, no. How much does that add up to? That's definitely a no.
I mean, I see it all over between like Reddit, different platforms. Like people, if you get on X and you just type in like UGC, the stuff like $600 for 60 posts a month is insane. Crazy.
But like people are accepting it, which creates the gap that we have to then address. Because I'm like, if people aren't accepting such low pay, then we wouldn't be having the problem of like, dang, I'm trying to get paid fairly.
Right.
I think when you look at the bigger picture, okay, $600 is a lot of money, especially in this economy. Well, I mean, almost, you know.
Yeah,
it's a lot. So when someone looks at the number rather than the quantity of videos that they have to create, they're like, okay, well, I still get $600. So
how do you fight for your clients and yourself to make sure that you're getting paid fairly? Like you're a woman, you're Black, you're younger. Like, do they try to not pay you properly? Do you have to push back?
Sometimes I do. There's like certain creators that I feel like, especially when trying to represent specifically Black men as well, I've realized that there have been some hiccups that I've had when I'm like representing like a white male versus a Black male. Like it tends to be like, okay, well, we don't have any budget anymore. I'm like, well, you just paid us like money before he even posted and he was white. So I don't know, just being transparent, that might get me like a slap on the wrist. I don't know, but it's interesting. But I always go back to the facts. Like, okay, this creator produces over 1 million views a month. There's no way, there's no way.
You can't nickel and dime them.
Yeah, you can't. Like, what else are you looking for? So I'll always go back to the drawing table and maybe call out, have you worked with creators before? Is this your first time? Almost a way of saying like, do you know what you're talking about? Do you know what you're talking about? Do you know what you're proposing? Because that's not it.
And it's good if you have like the data and statistics on your side, right?
Yeah.
Because now you can show engagement rate, views.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're tripping. Like you need to pay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you are firm and you fight for your clients.
You have to vouch for yourself and for the people that you represent. Because if you don't, they will just be like, okay, well, here's a free ticket. But I'm like, wait, no, no. I always start off with, okay, thank you. I understand the deliverables. You want this post. This is my rate. Instead of being like, do you have budget?
Right.
No, this is my rate.
Do you ever have issues with people giving you free stuff and then requesting like to post?
They're like, better not. No, no.
So you set very firm boundaries.
Yeah, I think so. I think the way I come across in my emails and how I present myself, I haven't had anyone be like, oh, well, we gave this to you. Can you post now? I'm like, if you give it to me for free and as a gift, then I don't think you should be coming. I have never had that problem.
That's good. I feel like I see it all the time. I'm in a couple creator groups and they're like, oh, they gave this to me and now they're asking me to post like 20 things.
They better not.
Do you think that's the difference between like UGC and influencer? Like, how do you categorize yourself?
I would say influencer.
Okay. Why?
Just because I've created a community that's able to rock with me on any, I guess, journey that I decide to take. So before it was when I was working at Procter & Gamble. After it was when I became a full-time content creator. Now it was when I moved to Columbia and I wanted to try out being a digital nomad. And now I'm back in Atlanta and
readjusting.
Not readjusting. I'm back in it. I'm like, there's work and everything flowing, especially that's why I like making certain announcements because I feel like I have gone through so many different phases. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, this is my new phase, guys. Before it was digital nomad. I'm like, okay, I moved out of the States and now it's like, okay, I'm back in Atlanta like it never left. That was my announcement.
What's the new chapter now for Hannah? What does that look like?
I'm doing the same thing I did, but saying no now and just being, I guess, more protective of my peace. I was saying yes to a lot of things. I was tired. I'm like, now we're not going to put ourselves in a state to like be so burnt out that we feel like we need to leave America. Like,
that's a big jump. That is a big.
It is. I'm like, I'm done with this.
I love that you're
done with this country.
You're in a space that you're able to just pick up and go though. Like that's beautiful that you've created the life.
Yeah,
that you can do that.
It is a blessing. Yeah, because I feel like even down to just like working, a lot of people can't work remote. A lot of people can't just pick up and go because their boss will be like, well, what the heck are you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they're tied to just being in the office. I hate the whole new mandate of like, okay, you have to be in office 4 out of 5 days. So you mean 5 because you're going to try to put a team meeting. Yeah, a team meeting or a team luncheon on the Friday. Like,
are you having flashbacks?
Yes, clearly. Yeah. I don't miss it.
It's not me. How do you feel like you've had all these phases? So how do you feel like your identity or vision or fashion has changed? And what are you leaning more into now?
Through the phases I was coming, I don't know. Let me just describe it this way. I feel like before there needs to be like a picture of like what I look like then versus now. Because when I came to the Atlanta scene and trying to figure it out rather than just doing content creation without a location, I was doing a lot of streetwear and like lounge reviews, restaurant reviews.
It's like night and day.
Yeah.
Because now it's giving like rich auntie and you're like streetwear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I think then I was just trying to figure out the easiest way to get in.
Okay.
And then from there I was like, now I'm in. Let's pivot. But yeah, that's also because of who I was with anyways. But it's just like throughout that, I saw myself complaining a bit like, oh wow, like, why am I not getting invited to these Pilates influencer events? And I look down, I'm like, you're wearing like, Jordans and bodycon dresses and trying to like do frontals and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's like people have to be representing you. I wasn't representing who I wanted to work with, if that makes sense. Yeah. There's another way to say it as well. But yeah, so now the new aesthetic or the aesthetic that was always there, I just think it shifted with like who I was with and just life. But it has always been like lifestyle luxury. So for luxe lifestyle, however you want to put it. Yeah.
I love it. Do you have any specific creators that you look up to or try to be in the same realm as?
No.
Okay.
I don't like consuming as much content as just trying to be creative and produce my own. I feel like I'm naturally creative and can think of a bunch of stuff. And I don't know. I'm like a faith-based person, so I look up to God. I don't really there's so many people that have flaws and this and that. So it's like, I don't really have a creative I look up to. And
That's
also,
really-
if I did, I met them and they might not have been nice or, you know what I'm saying? So I'd rather not put that faith in
someone.
trust in someone to be like, oh, like, you're the person that I live and die by. Like, I have to always be inspired by you to keep going. I think I find that within myself and keep creating.
So since you're not consuming as much content, how do you stay ahead of trends and what you want to do? Or do you kind of just set your own trends? Do you pay attention to the algorithm or what's going on or anything like that? Or you kind of just post?
So I pay attention to the news and I pay attention to my algorithm, but I don't pay attention to wide trends. I used to do that. And that's how I ended up creating a large community on TikTok. But now, no, that's a lot of chasing.
Okay.
There's always a trend every single day. That's a lot of chasing, a lot of having to pay attention to what everybody else is doing to be able to move forward with what you're doing. I just create my own trends if I'm feeling like I just posted, if I'm feeling like creating an indoor garden.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying?
I was like, I love it.
That. So, yeah, no, I'll pay attention to the news to make sure that I'm not
out of touch or.
Yeah. If something just happened or a lot of people lost their jobs all at once or something. What am I doing? Posting about how Protestant me PR.
Yeah.
So.
But that's good to keep you relatable.
Yeah.
And that you are just not well, that's not my problem. I have Prado, you don't. Yeah. So that's good that you're aware.
It is my problem because I'm a Black woman. So it's I have to make sure I'm staying aware. I'm not older where I'm okay, let's turn on the news at 6 a.m. to make sure that we're getting it in before we start our day. But, when it pops up on LinkedIn, I get those articles or it pops up on my Apple News app, then I'll tune in.
Do you feel like you are held to a different standard as a Black woman and a creator than your white counterparts?
I don't know if it's it's less about the performing piece and more about do the brands think that I deserve and have shown enough luxury content to be in the same space and getting the same invites. But I think as a Black woman, especially in Atlanta, you are held to a different standard. Even down to the standard that they think you should be embodying, which is why I think at times I don't completely mesh with my peers because they're okay, you're from Atlanta. Why don't you sound like you're from Atlanta? Why don't you dress like you're from Atlanta? Which is why I felt in the beginning it was easiest to dress like the part and you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel I'm kind of in the middle, and I don't know if they would say I don't belong to one versus the other, but that's a whole, that's a deeper thing about whether or not people seeing Black women in luxury and all that stuff. And they feel
we don't deserve it or we don't have a spot there.
Lux is for white people and streetwear is for the Black people. And I'm okay, well, I'm in the middle, you know what I'm saying? I have, I have my Jordans and all that stuff. I wear them once in a while, but I'm do people feel especially from my community, do they feel I even belong either? So, there's so many things to think about. And I'm also a private school kid. So I've been thinking about this for a while.
This is my life.
Yeah, that's my life. So it's always something that I think about, but it's not something that keeps me up at night. It's just okay.
Does it affect your jobs at all? When you get brand deals, do you have to prove that you belong in this luxury space or do you feel you have to push more out? Fair. So you're not applying or doing anything. They're reaching out to you and you're good. That's amazing.
Yeah. There's really no outreach anymore. Just because I want to use my time for other things. If I feel I'm having a lack, then of course I'll see if I can outsource, but I haven't really been reaching out. They've been coming to me. So I think that's also a blessing. So
That's amazing. What do you feel like luxury has been for you? Because you said like the luxe lifestyle. Like, what does that mean to you?
it's that's also why I left the country, because I'm like, am I putting too much focus on name brand things?
Okay.
But name brand has really been like so you're getting luxury PR, like Prada, Valentino, YSL, all of those. I feel like that is the same as like a luxe lifestyle. So that's what I mean. And I think that's even down to when I'm selecting if I want the PR or not. They ask like, what's your aesthetic? And then there's lifestyle and there's luxe lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I think I would say I'm luxe lifestyle because that's the PR that I like getting and like the brand deals that I like, engaging in, even down to like when it's not those name brands, even down to like the hotels. Mm-hmm. I'd rather those versus maybe like 2.5 star or something to review. Like I'd rather the West. Please park my car.
I think it definitely is like it's a lifestyle. Like it's different. It's okay to have somebody bring you your robe to your room and your slippers versus like, no, I can just go get it or I don't need it. Like it's just those little things that do make it luxury.
Yeah. I think we deserve it.
We do deserve it.
So I'm like, yes, yeah, that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Rather than it being like, should I even, do I feel guilty? I feel like I'm way past that. Because when I grew up, when I'm seeing like my other counterparts being able to, get phones all the time, break stuff without a care in the world because they can just replace it or just go to these different like cruises and not have to do the cabin below and do like the suite, like being immersed in the space around all of that made me see like, okay, I deserve this too. It's not just for other people. So
that makes sense. How do you decide if you're working with like a smaller luxury brand, like maybe a luxury candle or drinks or something that's not like a Prada or Valentino, but could still be luxury, or just a small brand in general?
Like, how do I determine if I want to work with them? Mm-hmm. I have to fall in love with their purpose and their mission, I feel, because I don't know. I think there's a lot of different brands popping up, especially in Atlanta, that claim like I don't have to always work with like luxury lifestyle things. I think I just look down to like the small businesses. Okay, like do you have a mission? Do you support the community? Or is this just for you to make a quick buck? I always look down to like, okay, what does your about me or about us page look like? So yeah, I just would say I haven't worked with that many small businesses. I don't know if it's because they see my page. I would love to. I don't know if it's because they see my page and they say, oh, I don't know how much she charges. Like, let's try to find another creator. So I don't know if I'm too experienced to completely answer the question well, but yeah.
But you are open to working with smaller brands. You're not opposed.
Yeah. I just have to make sure. I always ask the why. So if it's a smaller brand, I will take the time to ask them, okay, why did you start this business? Like, what's your purpose for continuing? Why do you want to work with influencers? It's easy to have that conversation as well, because maybe we can work something out with me as a creator and my agency as well.
And being in the city of Atlanta, like, how do you feel working with brands or working with places are? Like, do you have any specific ones that you're like, I love them or I would love to work with them?
In terms of types of businesses, I love working with hotels and spas. That's amazing. I kind of like working with restaurants, but being that I love like being healthy, you can easily gain a lot of weight when working with restaurants all the time. Like it's cool, but like I also want to be genuine. So I don't know how many I want to accept if I know that I'm not going to be fully eating the food or fully drinking the drink. So I tend to kind of not post as much of that content so I don't continue to attract just restaurants because you can't. just being real. I'm like, I can't eat every single day. There's some that are hot dogs, some that are fried this and that. I'm like,
come here, get these cookies, get this. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, Atlanta has a lot of different types of food for alongside food as well.
We're definitely in the South. We are in the South. How has being a business owner kind of shaped the way that you present yourself when you're doing content? Or do you keep that in mind when you're posting? Or is that like an afterthought? Like you're Hannah first, then the brand owner? Or is it just together?
I think it's together now, because everything that I do as a person affects the business. Mm-hmm. So I'm constantly thinking, okay, if I say this one thing on Threads, if I clap back, like,
oh girl, I've heard about your clapbacks on Threads. She's so nice.
I'm like, I know you don't think you're going to talk to me like that. So at the same time, it's like, you still have to put your foot down. So
do you feel like you get into it with other creators in Atlanta on Threads or on social media?
I don't know if this is too soon. I'm not going to mention it like that, but I feel like some people feel like they have beef with me. I don't know.
Okay. Why?
I don't know.
Literally don't know.
No, I really don't know. So that's why it comes down to, there's so many things that go into like just being a Black woman in general, and just, it might not even be about the content creation. It just might be about
personal.
I have no idea. I try to be as kind as like possible and make sure that I'm, the same online and in person. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it's easy because I feel like people have a bunch of confidence behind the screen too.
Yeah.
So if like we're talking something, I'm very like strong about my opinions as well when I'm posting on Threads or just whatever. And so I'm like, okay, like if I feel like you're just being nasty and mean, I don't really care who you are. You're being mean. I'm going to block you.
That's rude. So that's how you protect your peace to navigate? Because I feel like as women, and women in general are catty. And then if you're adding the factor of we're now in competition because you're going to get the brand deal or I am, right? So do you think that adds another layer to you having to like kind of protect your peace and protect how you navigate?
Yeah, it's just you pick your battles and you see, okay, are they trying to start an argument, or are they just like, you never know? Because you also can't read tone when you see like a comment. You like can't.
Right. It's hard.
I can't interpret that. So I do feel like, though, this is for all content creators, just be aware and cautious, because at the same time, content creation is like a new career, but other content creators are technically your coworkers, like, because we're all technically working. So, because this is like what we either do full time or part time, but it's still a career, it's still a business at the end of the day. So you just have to be careful about, okay, is this like, because you can make friends with coworkers, but at the same time, it's like, I've also noticed like there is natural competition. Because I mean, there's only certain spots for dinner party events and invites. So if there's 10 seats at the table,
right, it's you or me.
Yeah.
And what does that look like?
Yeah. So I don't really try to immerse myself in drama either. I feel like that's drama. So I just do me.
That's real. That's all you can do. Do you have any like personal habits that you do to try to keep yourself creative and not run out of those creative juices? Because you produce a lot of content, in my opinion. I like it. I think it's good. I see it. So, I mean, there's not a time that I'm either scrolling that you don't pop up somewhere.
Okay.
So how do you, which I think is great for you. Like, it's amazing. That's why I was like, okay, I don't see any flights back home yet. Like, when is she coming back?
Yeah.
So, like, you do a really good job at posting. Is it hard for you to stay creative, or is there anything that you do to kind of, like, keep your creative juices going and keep the stamina to keep going?
Not really. I mean, just taking breaks throughout the day. I mean, when you're working for yourself and doing something that is like a creative career, your brain tends to always be on, which mine is. I'm always thinking about like a cool idea to execute. So almost treating my life like it's a 9 to 5 as well. Okay, past a certain time, it's time to woosah, either go to the gym and walk it off and read a book that has nothing to do with like your career, and watch some TV with some food, and you don't have to record yourself doing that. So I pick my things to do every single day that have nothing to do with needing to record. So
That makes sense. Do you feel like when you go places, people want you to like always record or want you to like post or anything?
People ask me that. When I tell them what I do, they're like, are you not going to record? I'm like, no, I'm being present. Like, we're talking, like, we're having dinner. Why would I take out my phone? So if you see me taking out my phone for a restaurant, it's most likely a collaboration partnership. So, like, but when I'm in person, like with my friends, and family, like, I don't really take out my phone.
Do your friends and family like know what you do? Like, do they actually understand it?
I think they do in a way. I think they know that I get PR. So my mom and my sister, they're always like, what did you get this week? Can you bring it home? So I don't know if I've ever talked to them and completely explain. I think they naturally gather an understanding of what I do from what I talk about and what I had to go do and what I was invited to. So I think they understand. Yeah.
Do you ever have friends that you feel like try to take advantage of the situation? Like, hey, can you come by my business and like record or no?
No, I've surrounded myself around good people. And if they do and they trust like me, then they trust me enough to react well to them being like, hey, you want to come in and like try this new product? Then I just feel like I have good friends. I have a good circle. So if they ask me to come in, then I'm fine. I'm like, yeah, let's hang out.
That's amazing. I love it. And then the only other question I have before we get into the rapid fire is for your brand and your agency. Do you have any tips that you would recommend to anybody like that are starting? Because we do see them popping up. So for somebody that is either an aspiring content creator or agency owner, what would you suggest for them? Or what tips do you have?
I know it's like a trend right now to become a content creator, become an influencer. I think it's just about how to mesh that with your lifestyle as well, but also being realistic. Like if you're wanting it to happen sooner rather than later, you're wanting the invites, you're wanting the PR packages, you have to realize, okay, yeah, you want it to be sustainable with your lifestyle. And you might only have the time to post once a week, but that's not going to get you anywhere as fast as just like taking the time and kind of like sacrificing maybe some lunches or maybe some weekends to create the content to move fast if that's what you want. And also knowing like why you're doing it. If you're just doing it for money, you might be in a rude awakening because we just talked about like how much you have to negotiate and how much brands are like not wanting to spend as much money because we realize how much money they're saving on not having to go to the studio and hiring models and, camera work and all that stuff. So knowing your why, making sure it's not just about money, that is a great perk. But it's like if you're just starting YouTube, for example, and you want to, get that big YouTube check, a lot of people fall off because they're like, I don't really love this. So finding what you like within, the content creation space. If you like recording days in the life, or if you like specifically recording your recipes, or specifically like recording with an Osmo versus a phone, just find the things that you love. That'll keep you motivated as you go on, because I think it can be easy to lose motivation if it's something like just a very superficial reasoning. So,
what is your why?
I love helping people. My why is making sure that anyone that I'm around or anyone that's involved in either working with me or interacting with me is leaving as their best self. So I feel like a lot of my content is either like motivational or like the indoor garden thing. Like, here's a way that you can become a gardener as well as catching the eye of brands. But I just love helping others. And that really is my why. That's why I started like content creation with like teaching. I've gotten away from that, which now I'm going to get back into. So people will see how I like integrate that back into my content. But my why is helping.
You did say do you still currently have those communities? You said you built a community on TikTok and you had your community that follows you. So do you have like a subscriber base or an email list? Like, where's your community? Or they just follow you on social media?
They just follow me right now. And then the events that I do, are a great way to bring that community in.
Mhm.
But I need to do a better job about fostering that community and like making sure I, feed them with what they, they came and they decided to become a part of the community for. So if they found a bunch of other creators that were also wanting to get their first deal or continue to do content creation and potentially go full time in it, then I want to continue to provide that space for them to do so. And so that's just on me to finally get back into doing it, which is why I'm glad I had that break, because I feel like now I'm able to really think about like where I want to go looking forward.
All right, are you ready? I have some rapid fire questions.
I think I'm ready.
Okay. Your favorite brand to get PR from?
Let's just say YSL.
Influencer or content creator?
Content creator.
Okay. Colombia or Atlanta?
Atlanta.
Oh, sweet home.
Yeah.
Your favorite personal brand?
That I use?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say Laneige. I love their facial wash.
Your iPhone or Osmo to record?
iPhone.
Instagram edits or CapCut?
CapCut.
Oh, okay.
I don't use Instagram edits.
Really?
I don't have to download it.
CapCut or Canva?
They're they do two different things. I'll say Canva.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can be very creative. Like, I love what are they called? The templates.
Soft basic, especially for the other stuff that you do.
Mm-hmm.
That is all I had for rapid fire. Do you have any other advice that you would like to bestow upon an inspired or upcoming content creator?
No, just reiterating, like, know your why before you get into it. And if you're why, and if you're not really into the content creation piece, but you'd rather just have the opportunity to work with hotels or brands, that's where like UGC comes in, or maybe you can look at being like a strategist for them, like doing the 9 to 5. But, the final product doesn't always have to be like being an influencer content creator. There's other ways that you can do what you love through other different careers. So just starting out with figuring out what your purpose is, but also your why, and merging the two and seeing how you can best impact the world or impact the community.
That makes sense. Hannah, I just want to say thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate your transparency and your openness, and you are just a plethora of information, and it's always surprising the new things that you have. So I appreciate you. All of Hannah's links will be linked below so you can follow her and support. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is The Bridge. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.